All right, what's up, guys? Universal Mastery. I'm here with my boy Fabian. You guys should know Fabian by now. I think this is like the 6th podcast we've done so far. So yeah, Fabian, just go ahead, give an introduction if you'd like.
Instagram FitLifeFable, Snapchat FitLifeFable 2019. You really should check me out. I got a new program, the FLF 8. That's the name of the program, FLF 8. So I have a few clients going on right now. They're going through my protocols. They're going through my training routine, and that's what I labeled it. So it's the new shit. It's the best shit. Check it out.
All right, so you guys heard that. So you know, there's a couple things that I want to talk about too in this podcast. One of the main things that I want to talk about is the collective consciousness. I want to talk about like what exactly is the collective consciousness. So what do you think, Fabian? Like what's your views on the collective consciousness?
You said collective?
Yeah, like how do you see the collective consciousness? What do you see it as? And if you could just like kind of explain that for someone who wouldn't know what like the collective consciousness is, but has heard about it before.
I'm not really too sure about collective consciousness, to be honest.
Okay.
I haven't really done any research on that.
Okay.
But personally, if I know the definition, I could probably give you my insight.
Okay, so I'll break it down then. I'll break down the collective consciousness and kind of like my spiel on it. So and then you chime in whatever you get from it. But the collective consciousness is basically, it's like the sum of all consciousness. So like with every single person, on this planet, whether someone that's has like a high energy, a high frequency, someone who's really tapped into like sacred understandings in themselves and are able to emulate this, this strong aura, all the way down to someone who literally is completely unaware, someone who literally just doesn't know who their higher self is, doesn't really have an urge or a passion or a fire, a spark to even want to figure that out. The collective consciousness is going to be the consciousness of all of that summed up pretty much into one big consciousness, if you could just like imagine that. So basically, like, when these things happen from time to time where it's like, people say, oh, like for example, like 2012, when everyone was like, oh, the world's going to end, right? There was like a consciousness shift, and every certain amount of years, every like certain amount of time that goes by, there is a certain consciousness frequency raise. Okay, so meaning the entire collective consciousness literally starts to resonate at a higher frequency. And that's based on, one part of it is based on the collective consciousness. So meaning that like the more people that start to raise their consciousness, even if it's like, just a couple people that are very like raising theirs very, very, very high, that actually can affect the mass consciousness, the mass collective consciousness pretty massively. That can really make a change. So it's basically like saying like one person out of like 30, if they have raised their energy enough, they can literally raise that 30 people's energy, like just because of their own energy raise. So the collective consciousness, once again, is like that big mass consciousness. So like, what do you think about that, Fabian?
Oh, I believe that's possible. I mean, it happens all the time. It happens. It always takes one accusation to make a large mass of people believe in one certain thing. You know what I mean? Like those Popeyes chicken sandwiches. You know what I mean? Those Popeyes chicken sandwiches came out, and oh my God, they're so much better than Chick-fil-A. And hands down, Chick-fil-A is the most popular chicken sandwich out right now. So once they made that accusation, everybody stormed Popeyes. And you want to know something funny? I'm not a sheep. I don't really buy into the hype. I don't really pay any mind to it. But I like having cheat meals when I'm able to. And I love me a good chicken sandwich. I'd rather that over a burger at times. So when I decide to have that cheat meal, I usually do Chick-fil-A. I say, you know what? Let me go check out Popeyes real quick. On the way to get a couple brewskis, I see that the line's around a lot. So I'm like, wow, okay, I might not go in, but let me check it out. On the way back from the Wawa, got my brewskis on the way back. I say, you know what? Let me go into the parking lot. I go into the parking lot the opposite way, and I almost hit a car head on. And I'm like, all right, that's already not a good sign. So I backed out, went into the parking spot, went inside the fucking Popeyes, and there's a big sign that says, Altamont Springs, Florida, we're out of chicken sandwiches.
Oh.
So they sold out. So whoever made that agenda, or whichever group of people or a single person who made that accusation, had a huge mass following from it. And look at the result. So yeah.
Yeah, it took one person to get everyone to get all those people. It took one. Well, it didn't take. I wouldn't say one person. It took a lot of people to come up with that idea and formulate that. But it took one change in just the menu to literally get a flock of people to go and check that out and want to purchase that.
I don't know if it was the fact that they switched up and made a chicken sandwich. I mean, they've always had a chicken sandwich, correct? So it must have been the accusation saying that they were better than the most popular spot, which was Chick-fil-A. That rivalry, that's what it was. And it's just crazy, man, because I honestly lived 2 blocks from a Popeyes for the last 12 months. And in the last 12 months, I probably went there one time. And I'm only saying one time because I'm not sure if I ever have one in there. So just one accusation could make me check them out. You see that? Someone who hasn't been to Popeyes in over a year goes inside there and checks it out, all because everyone's saying how they have such a popular item on the menu.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Imagine on a much larger scale, like this hurricane stuff. I went to the Wawa to get a brewski, and every single pump had at least 4 to 5 people waiting. And everybody had gas containers, filling up gas containers, going to Walmart, freaking buying all the water off the shelves for a hurricane that might not hit. And who's really winning at the end of the day? I mean, I consider it everyone winning because you're stocking up for your survival, and the big corporations are making money. So everybody's winning at the end of the day. But
you might as well be one of those people that's profiting off of it, because as you said, not everyone is, 100% sure if it's even going to hit. So it's like, you have all these people that are like really worried and overstocking, overloading on all this stuff, when really it's like, there is that chance that it could be a massive hurricane.
I find it funny how everybody waits to the last minute to do shit like that, though.
Yeah, that too. But it's also interesting because it's like literally on a deep level, it's like the more people that really think this hurricane is going to be massively like this huge hurricane, and it's going to be a category whatever, I think 5 or whatever the highest number is, the more people that believe that, they're not understanding that the way literally energy siphons back and forth, they're feeding that. Like they could make this hurricane a lot stronger than what it really is. Like a lot of the times the weather does manifest in the spiritual, like mental plane. Like, for example, if you've ever really studied this and if you've heard stories about this from other people, you find a lot of times that people that have gotten struck by lightning literally tend to have this massive spiritual awakening afterwards. And that means a lot. Like, that's symbolic because that needed to happen in order for that person to wake up, to come to like some massive realization, like massive strike of just electricity had to wake you all the way up to realize, like, holy shit, like I've been ignorant for a while, and this is what I needed to literally change my life and state of mind, change my state of mind, which changes my life and the effect of that. And but you never hear stories of people that are like already like really successful, smart people that are literally on their journey that have gotten struck by lightning. You don't hear that. So it's like, realistically, for this hurricane, what I'm sensing, like for my intuition, is that it's not going to be that big of a deal. Yes, I'm going to stock up on water because I do plan on not going outside and being inside my house for probably like at least like maybe 4 days. But I'm not worried that like, it's going to be like Katrina level. It doesn't seem like it's going to be that. What do you think?
Whether it is or it isn't, stop fucking waiting to last minute for to gather all your needs. You know what I mean? Like, I keep 15 gallons of water in this house on a monthly basis. 15 gallon stockpile in 5-gallon jugs on a weekly basis, just because it's saves money and is more convenient, and God forbid of a situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, just prepare for catastrophe before the catastrophe comes. It's like a fucking parachute. You don't jump out of an airplane without that shit. You prepare yourself. You put the parachute on before you even get on the plane. Make sure like that's what this world is. That's what this world is. We're all on a fucking plane. And we're eventually going to jump off. But who's on the ride for the longest?
Yeah. So, on like kind of changing topics a little bit, and I agree with that. Like, I think you should always be prepared for whatever comes your way at all times. Always. What is that like? And that kind of goes into the next topic I want to talk about, which is self-awareness. Be self-aware enough that like, what if something was to pop off, at any moment, and you just needed that water? Or what if nothing popped off and you just ended up drinking a lot of water? Maybe it was like really hot.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, might as well have it.
Might as well. You prepare for it. It's a necessity regardless. It looks like a bunch of fucking retards over there bumping into each other's bumpers at the gas station, freaking honking at each other. I need my gas. I need my gas. But if you would have did that shit last week, you would have been all right.
And it's funny because, obviously the news, the Weather Channel, all those things, they're going to promote this storm for sure. Damn well they're going to promote it, that it's going to be so crazy. It's going to be worse than you expect. They're going to promote it as it's going to be so deadly. And then they're going to rebound it by like, oh, we're just taking precaution. We're just like giving people the worst scenario, which makes sense. But at the same time, they're profiting so much money off of other people's fear. And I guarantee you,
they deserve it though, man.
The storm's not even going to be that big of a deal.
Yeah. And even if it is a big deal, they still deserve it. They deserve all the money they get from these fucking cocksuckers. I swear to God. These fucking people getting running in and out of places, stockpiling it, off of one news channel, saying one thing. That's all it takes for them to make money. They deserve it because these people are idiots.
They're smart, man. They're smart. Yeah. And it's a shame that they're not sharing their information. It's really simple. It's very simple. I'm personally, not financially free yet, but I'm finding out the keys at a young age to become financially free. And it's really simple. Like, you know, for someone like our age, I think one of the most important things that we could do is master social media. Like Gary Vaynerchuk knows about it. Grant Cardone knows about it. Well, Grant Cardone talks a lot about like real estate, but he knows about the social media too. That's why he has a podcast. That's why he puts content out. That's why he does interviews and things like that, because he knows that the new generation is all over social media. So it's like literally, it is very, 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 very simple to be financially free and successful financially in building a brand, but it's not easy. You know, it's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of dedication. It's going to take a lot of consistency, but you got to learn how to love that process, and you got to learn how to love that journey. And and what helps that loving the process is doing something that you actually like doing, something that you feel is like a life's calling for you, like a gift that you just naturally have. Like, double down on that, because then you'll be able to fuel it 10 times more with your own motivation. But literally, it's so simple. Like, for example, I'll speak what I'm setting up right now. It's like, you know, I have merch now, and I have it on my, you know, I have it through a platform that I didn't create the platform. There's another company that obviously is doing well that has their own platform where I can sell my merch off and they profit off of it, but I also make profit if people buy my merch. Now, what's going to make my merch unique and what I'm doing unique is that the symbols that I'm creating on my clothing are symbols of power. It's not just a shirt that says Universal Mastery, look at my brand, buy my brand. A lot of people in our age think they deserve shit. Like, oh man, I'm paying fucking this amount of money per month to have my platform to put merch out. Of course someone needs to buy it. Like, it's just a given. Like, no, motherfucker, you gotta put out merch that's gonna be value. Okay, so a lot of the times people buy merch because, you know, let's say you have a brand on YouTube and you're promoting that, and you know your YouTube channel. Let's say your YouTube channel is really good. Your content's really good. You put a lot of effort into it. You offer a lot of value, whether that be humor, whether that be knowledge, whether that be like motivation, whatever it is, financial knowledge, whatever. People will like you so much that they will buy your merch just to repay you, because it makes them feel good.
when in a merch, I'm sorry, I've been on YouTube a lot, man, and that merch game, when you're a vlogger and a streamer and you come out with your own merch, from what I've seen, 9 times out of 10 they only buy it, you know, to support you.
Yep.
Because honestly, the merch never looks good enough that people want to spend $20-$30 on that fucking shirt.
Now imagine that the merch did look good enough, or the merch had like a uniqueness to it where you're literally putting like ancient symbols of power on it. And that's what I'm doing for my merch. That's
like a wheat leaf.
Yeah, and it's just,
you put shirts with a wheat leaf on fucking Amazon and you put $9.99 a shirt, you got 1 billion of them and you pay $2.99 to make it. Come on, bro, you're gonna kill the game. You're gonna kill it just because it has a wheat leaf and it's $10. Why not? Fuck it, let me add it to the cart. Like, look, best beer I've ever fucking had in my life.
Shameless plug. Someone sponsor him. Wait, talk. They gotta see it. You gotta talk.
It's Golden Monkey. I'm not sponsored by these guys. There's a beer company called Victory. They have this Golden Monkey beer. And when you're in the beer game, everybody searches for the beer that tastes the best, of course, but it has to have a high alcohol percentage. Because nobody wants a 3.5% alcohol Coors Light, right? You want a 9.5% alcohol Golden Monkey because it's high in alcohol, so you're gonna get drunk and it tastes fucking amazing. It has added spices, and look at the fucking logo.
Okay, wait, hold on. You just hit on something very important. You hit on something that's like paying attention to detail. Like they went out of their way and they're unique because they have spices in it. Exactly. And the bottle, the can, I should say, looks unique. It's like it stands out.
It's the universe with a Buddha covering his eyes and an all-seeing eye on his stomach.
And that's an ancient symbol, and that's why people
So
buy that, and that's why they like it.
People are gonna dive into it because it's all Illuminati, higher power, higher knowledge. This, so they're gonna buy into that shit. But honestly, I didn't care for the logo. I didn't care for the universe. Maybe my subconscious did.
Your subconscious did because you resonate on a deep level. Now, the shirt, the thing that makes my merch a little bit different, and you guys should definitely go check it out. Is it's literally like the source. It's like these ancient symbols that people aren't like, other brands aren't putting these symbols on their shirts because these symbols are the real symbols, and you have to have some level of knowing and, if you will, balls to put that out, because a lot of people that like, the symbols I'm putting out are attributed to ancient gods. A lot of people aren't comfortable with that, right? They hear the name Lucifer, they hear the name Hecate, they hear these names Belial, and they're like, whoa, fuck that shit. But they have no idea the truth of these entities. They have no idea like the power they hold. They have no idea what they're really trying to do, like really trying to, what their goal is for Earth, which is, helping mankind evolve, like the collective consciousness evolve. But people don't know that. But that's what sets my merch a little bit differently, is that I'm putting these root symbols on there that most people aren't doing. There are other people that do it, but most people aren't.
So you're gonna make trendy, not trendy. I'm not gonna say trendy.
No, dude. Honestly, yeah. Like I'm also gonna make it look good. Like I'm gonna make it hit that. Like it's a balance. It's like I gotta balance with the market, like what people like, and I gotta be honest. Like my subconscious likes it. Like I like it. Like I'm gonna put a certain like type of logo. Like I'm gonna create a long sleeve. And it's going to have a certain, and I'm creating this one tomorrow actually. So
but what about for people like me who say someone doesn't support you, they're going to pay for it because it looks good, right? Now there's two types of people. All right. The person that supports you, they're going to want the logo emphasized because they support you and it's a cool fucking logo. It's about higher knowledge and shit that you don't see every day. Cool. But then there's another dude who might not support you and also want the shirt because it looks good, the logo is emphasized. But what about that third guy who, I don't really like having loud clothing. Maybe I just want a small logo there.
Exactly. You know what I mean? That's what I was gonna say. Like,
don't forget about that guy because I'm that guy.
Well, that's what I was gonna create was a small logo like right here on the chest, on the left side of the chest, and then it was gonna be like that's gonna be, it's gonna be different, different logos, because I do know that some people resonate with other things. But the long sleeve that I was thinking of is I'm gonna have this sigil right here of an ancient power, an ancient symbol of power, and then the sleeves is gonna have a cool design. I'm not exactly sure what design I want to do yet. I think I know. I'm going to create it tomorrow. It's going to have something to do with flames, but it's going to have these flames on each side. It's going to be really cool. And I'm going to
also think it's cool when the front of the shirt has nothing on it, and then the back of the shirt has something on it.
That's dope too. Yes.
I feel like that's so cool. It's like the front is like normal, but in the back you got like boom.
Yeah, it's like a party in the back.
Yeah, it's a party in the back. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of party in the back, let me go grab a beer real quick. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. So yeah, I'm sipping on called what's it called? Patagonia. And I felt drawn to this because it's got like that, you know why I bought this? Off of straight the emotion of being in the mountains in like Colorado and just coming out of the, I work on the beach, guys, for those of you who don't know, and I do physical labor. And it's like, if you don't know, in Florida, Miami, Florida, it's fucking hot. It's like really hot. So I'm out there literally like 12 hours a day,
Must feel so good being in the sun every day, though.
I'm being in the sun, so guess what I'm going to want to come home to? And think about anyone else who's doing hard labor or outside doing anything physical.
Ice cold.
This logo is going to make them think like, oh, you know, like I'm just going to be in like a nice chill room. And
especially when you pop the top and the smoke comes out like you're sitting.
Look at that. Hold up. You guys didn't see it. I just saw it. Did you see it?
I'll buy you a freaking a beard thing, man. That one sucks.
Yeah, I've had that on my keychain for a while now. But yeah, so cheers, everyone. Oh, I think I saw some smoke.
You saw what?
I think I saw some steam, some smoke come out.
Oh.
So Fabian, what did you want to talk about? You said you had some things on your mind.
Oh yeah. No, I mean for the first time in my life, I'm actually learning from other people, man.
Woo!
Yeah. I'm a stubborn fuck. You know, even when I was at my worst, I thought I was better than you. Not you specifically, you know.
No, dude, I resonate highly with what you're saying because I think when we first met each other, we were both like that. Like we were both like very like hard-headed, very, very hard-headed, yet at the same time very smart, very aware. And we kind of like fed that like belief and just like kept like but you know, at the same time, I think that was necessary. I think it was necessary to do that because it's that sense of stability. It's that sense of knowing. It's that sense of like, oh yeah, I know shit. And then you get so evolved that you get to a place of like, damn, like I don't know shit. I'm smart as fuck. I'm powerful as fuck. I can change the world. I can do anything, but I don't know shit. And I'm ready to learn from just about anything. And when you hit that state, that's when you become the fucking Godhead.
Yeah.
You know?
Seriously. I feel, you know, as a young one, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, you know, I never wanted to listen to nobody because I felt like no one understood me. I can't learn from you because you've never been in my shoes. So why the fuck am I going to try to learn from you? You know, unless I knew someone who was specifically in my shoes, but you're never going to find that. You know what I mean? You're never going to find that. And sometimes you think you're better than someone because you're different. And you might be better than them at certain things. But there's always a characteristic from someone that you can use for yourself. Always. And you're only doing yourself a disjustice by not, you know, sizing other people up and seeing what they have that you need. You're only doing yourself a disjustice, man. You really are. Because it's like free money. Doing that is like free money. Like, there's one of the best trainers in the world I've been following. And I've been looking at what he does, and I tell myself, how do I do that better? Instead of saying, fuck you, you suck, I'm better than you. No, that's cool. What can I do to make mine better? All right, the other day I was in the gym. There's this workout that I'm not going to lie, I did see someone else doing something similar, but I did it better. And then when I did that workout better, I gave it to a client, and that client used it in his routine that I gave him. Now, my vision is 360. I see everything that goes on around me. Some other dude started imitating at pretty much the same time, had no shame to imitate the same workout that I gave my client.
Yo, I gotta touch up on something. That is a complete principle of everything around you is a reflection. Literally, everything. If you can view everything as a reflection, then you are tapping into some of the most ancient keys of knowledge that there is for success. Because as you said, Fabian, you saw someone doing a certain workout routine, and you may have saw a reflection of what you already knew, something you already maybe creatively knew deep down, like, why didn't I try that? But you didn't click onto it until you saw it in somebody else. It's like they brought that awareness to you. And a lot of times it's these things that are like, why didn't I think of that? When it's like, you know, they did that in front of you for that reason, so that you could take it and, you know, copy it with your own unique twist. And as you say,
No, that's not what I was saying.
Doing it better.
No, what I was saying was I saw the workout being done on Instagram and I recreated a better version of it.
Well, that's basically what I'm saying.
But when I recreated that better version of it, I brought it to a client in the gym facility.
No, I get what you're saying. You brought it to a client in a gym facility. Then someone saw you do it, and then they did it the
wrong way.
But you said, he did it the wrong way.
But he did it the wrong way. But that doesn't matter. What matters is he attempted it right next to me.
Yes, and that, like what would he have been doing if he didn't see you do that? Like probably something worse. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But what I got from it was he doesn't think he's better than everyone. He's learning from people.
Exactly.
And I respect that.
There are archetypes, right? Like we all have archetypes. Like there are people that are teachers out here, and you know, a big portion of that could run in your bloodline, run in your past lives of, you know, what you've been through in past lives and has led you up to being, you know, more self-aware than the average person. And then there's straight, you know, working for it and becoming more self-aware. And then there's a mix of both of that. And then you're smart. But what I'm saying is, like, there's people that are teachers, and then there's people that know they're not teachers and they're students. And I consider myself both at this point in my journey, because I'm like diving into like really advanced shit. So I'm learning from, you know, people you would never guess you could learn from, because I'm learning from spirits, right? Entities, deities, like powers, my higher self. They will manifest through someone that I would never guess and say something to me that's like, damn, okay. Like, damn, okay, I gotta, like, I'm on point. And it teaches you, like, everything is a reflection of self. So whatever you are, whatever you want to be, whatever you want to achieve, whatever is stopping you, whatever blockages you have, you will see that through other people. Not saying that's a bad thing. Like if you see a blockage in someone else, like for example, if someone comes at you and they come at you with a certain attitude that you know hits you on a trigger point, like it's like a certain type of attitude they come at you, which is like hits you on some weird trigger point where it's like, whoa, it's like, damn, like this attitude this person's coming at me with is like one of the attitudes I fucking despise. Like I fucking hate that shit. I'm afraid of that shit. Like it just makes me shut down. Then that means that's a reflection that you need to embrace of yourself. There's something in you through that person that's experiencing that, and it's giving you the opportunity to be fearless in that moment. So what I would recommend is take that fucking opportunity and be fearless and confront that aspect of yourself to move through that barrier. And then it can manifest in other ways. Sometimes, you know, someone can come up to you and they can be really loving and they can really help you out and share some powerful knowledge with you. And then that also shows a reflection of what you are. And that's always a good confirmation to have, you know, to know from other people that, you know, what you're putting out is coming back. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You're right, man. Some people don't really think that hard in the time, you know, in the moment. When the moment comes that they're getting hit with these emotions, they don't think that much, and it's normal. It's normal, and you know, I'm gonna say it's normal because the majority of us don't. You know, a majority of us black out. We black out, especially with past traumas. We'll get hit with a specific emotion, and we wouldn't really think twice on how to react, or we don't really sit back and see the pros and the cons.
Yeah, and that's what I call being stuck in the matrix. Like in a sense of being not being stuck in the matrix. We're all to an extent stuck in the matrix, but I call that being lost in the matrix. Like lost in the matrix, not knowing how to navigate. And you know, once again, it's like the reason why people don't see these opportunities is because of traumas. And once again, it's because they feel like their traumas haven't been acknowledged, and you know, they feel like they're not being dignified. If that's the right word, dignified. They feel like they're not being acknowledged, and they hold that in with this almost like Smeagol. If you could imagine this, like Smeagol in the Ring. They're like, the precious, my emotions, and then they shut and they go they black out, and they don't even think of the opportunity that there is in that moment, because they don't see the clarity. They don't see the depth of what's really happening. They don't see how they can literally take this as a leveling up opportunity, which is why it's there. But they take it as in, fuck, why is this happening to me? It's not fair. This is not cool. It's their fault. They're like this fucking person. I hate these people. And then they start labeling everything like that. And then they start getting more of that reflection shot back at them through other people. And then it gets them stuck in this constant state of like, it's not fair. It's victim mentality. And then most people end up in this passive mind state of like, life's just not fair. Like I just give up. Like whatever I can do to distract myself now, that's what I'm going to resort to. Do you agree?
Yeah. It's almost like when, you know, when times are hard, you know, just your emotions are out of whack. Work isn't going as well as you want it. You know, obligations aren't getting handled in the time frame that you want it. You know, sometimes if you just sit back and relax and think thoroughly, it will be so much better than blacking out and just feeding into it. And in the opposite side, when things are going amazing, exactly how you want it, and you're fighting for it, that's the time where you don't sit back and relax and think thoroughly. That's the time when you fight fucking harder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you need to be a certain person at a certain time, man. And some people have a hard time with doing that. They're the same fucking person in every fucking scenario.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone has a battle with.
That's interesting. That's a great explanation of it. There's the same person in every scenario. Yeah, like, and that's literally one of the topics I want to talk about today, which was states of mind. I personally see that there's three states of mind. There's the state of mind where you're like, that kind of just like, what is it? It's almost like it's like a nothingness state of mind, like literal, just like no identity whatsoever. Like what it's just like, it's like the state of mind you would go in if you meditate and you just act like there's no one else on this earth but you, and you're just speaking to something that's not there. There's that state of mind, and I consider that like this state of mind, like in the middle. And then there's the state of mind where you are the warrior, you are the go-getter, you are the achiever, you are the accomplisher, you are the whatever, you are the willpower, and you know, that state of mind where you attack. You know, you're in the offensive, you're not reactive, you handle stuff, and that's the state of mind that I stay in when I work. Then there's the other state of mind, which is over here, which is detaching from everything. You're still aware of everything. Like you're starting to analyze things that are happening around you. You're starting to analyze maybe things that happen throughout your day, but you're not attached to any of it, and you're just seeing it. That's this state of mind. And then there's that one state of mind where like literally just none of these even matter. You're just like in that meditative state where you're just focused on maybe a certain intention, whatever it is when you're meditating. Then there's the go-getter, the high energy, let's get it, let's do it, the state of mind I'm in now. And then there's that state of mind where, you know, I can conversate with people, but nothing matters. It's just like I'm detached, I'm healing, I'm remembering shit, like I'm just letting the energy flow through me the way it needs to. And that's literally the key to life. Like there's three certain states of mind specifically that you go into. And either, you know, each one of these is like kind of like masculine and feminine. It has its own attributes to it. But it's essential. That's how you navigate consciousness.
Yeah. What we say goes for both sexes. This is not, you know, just because we're men, we're not only speaking to men, we're speaking to women too.
Yeah, dude, I'm glad you just said that because that's true. I forget that people don't recognize that. Yeah. It's like masculine and feminine is in every person.
Yeah, everyone.
Every person. So, But
I mean, women and men both have testosterone and estrogen. We just have different amounts.
yes,
We both contain the same exact fucking shit.
yep.
I don't want to hear, you know.
And that doesn't mean, though, I want to just make this clear, that doesn't mean that we think the same. That doesn't mean we think alike. Men definitely think different than women.
Of course, because we have more testosterone.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Women just have more estrogen than testosterone. We all have a bit. We all have bits and pieces of each other, though.
There is a role. It's like an archetype. I like to think of it as archetypes. Like the man has a certain archetype where it's like he figures stuff out. He knows how to handle stuff. He knows how to conquer. And, you know, the woman has the archetype of she knows how to nourish and she knows how to emotionally engage emotionally.
Sometimes it's not always knowing for it. It's sometimes it's men want to control and want to conquer, and women want to be emotional. Sometimes it's not always we do it. Sometimes it's we want to do it. It's just our instinct, what we have instinctively. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of distractions about it. Like in society, you know, there's a certain, you know, that's one of the techniques that's used in society and the, you know, the governments to distract you in literally like if you guys really pay attention, they're trying to make men more passive. They're literally trying to make men like act more like women and make women act more like men. So
I mean, look at it, bro. Just think about it. When women were at home cleaning because they couldn't work, and cooking because they couldn't work, and taking care of kids because they couldn't work, and only men were the ones doing that, why the fuck would we let that happen? Because if women and men could work, that's double the taxes.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about it, man. Women were at home, they couldn't earn an income. So men were the only ones paying taxes to the government. So once women fought for it, they didn't convince the government that that was right. They fucking spoke to them saying, we want to give you money. And they said, okay, that's really all it was, man. Because they're thinking of it like, hold up, we've been stopping women from producing an income when it could be more money for us.
Yeah, and that's the sad part is, yeah, they fooled most of society. Obviously, they fooled everyone. They fooled like 95% of people, right? But you know, that's that collective consciousness that I was
So the
talking about.
government is not always smart, man. They're stupid too.
Look, the government's stupid big time because they're doing these things intentionally, right? These distractions, these fear-based mindsets, all this stuff is intentional distraction.
Not really. They're not that powerful, man.
No, it is intentful so that they can make more money and they can have more resources for what they do.
No, of course, but why would they allow women to not be able to work? You know, back in the late 1700s, 1800s.
That's what I'm saying. That's like, it's not that they shouldn't, you know, it wasn't that they weren't able to work. It's just that no one was hiring them because by nature, men are like on the dot. Like we're logical beings. We handle stuff and we get stuff done.
Okay, but who created that image? Because there's a job for anyone.
No, it wasn't. No, exactly. And it wasn't like that image. It wasn't like they created that image. It was more of that was the kind of work there was back in the day.
That was just a religion. That was just a religion, bro.
I don't like. I mean, there was women working. You know, women do great jobs at, you know, serving positions when it comes to like, you know, customer service, like dealing with people. They're great. You know, they do great. When it comes to like being like connecting a lot of dots and being like on point and being, you know, dead accurate and having to manage everything, that's a man's position. He needs to be aware of what's going on and the steps that are going to happen ahead. When it comes to maybe dealing with customers or even dealing with some men, you know, women are great at that because they can emotionally, you know, entice you to buy things. They can emotionally, you know, yeah, literally that's what it is. I mean, people buy emotion and women are masters of emotion. And I mean, that's, you know, I don't think there wasn't a point in time where they weren't able to work. you know, there was still, you know, behind doors, you know, women working. That was, you know, once again, that was, you know, another distraction. They were trying to project that, right? Just like, hold on. Just like they say racism is so big right now, when in true life, it's not. Like most people aren't too concerned about it. Now there are people that are so locked into it and like, you know, it's not fair. Like I'm a this and I'm a that and I'm a this and I come from this place and you guys treat me like. Most people aren't like that. But when you go on watch the news, they project that and they say you would think it's like that. But what I'm saying is when it comes to human nature, there are certain roles that we should have as men, and there are certain roles that women should have as women. Like it's just by nature, and there's no arguing that. It's like when it comes to, like, let's say the war, right? When it comes to being the front line, or let's say like a Navy SEAL, like someone who's on the front line and has to execute a strategic plan. I don't care how many movies you've watched. That is a man's job, because he's going to get the job done. He's going to know what he has to do. And you're going to want to surround him with other men that are thinking the same thing. You throw a woman in there and there's going to be a little mix of a chaotic energy. And now other men are going to be thinking, what is she thinking? Because men aren't that strong. Most men aren't that powerful. Most men aren't that self-aware. So they get distracted by that. And you can't blame us, because women are masters of emotions. They can play with men. And I personally work a job, and I can speak from personal experience, where I do lots of physical labor, as you guys know, and they literally don't let women do what we do. They let women be the cashiers, and they run that shit. They run it. Like, they're so good. Like, they have that tone of voice. Like, they have that tone of voice for every customer. Like you know what I'm talking about. If you're in customer service, like, there's a certain tone of voice.
I don't believe that, but I'm just
no. I'm gonna tell you.
I don't believe women are great at being cashiers. I was at Walmart, and I was at the worst one.
No, let me like, what our cashiers are is someone who just takes someone's last name down, writes a room number, and then tells me to go set them up.
Yeah, but when I come across females in that position, that are fucking horrible at that job.
Well, that's because you're talking about a whole different context of people that don't like their job. Yeah. Now, when the job I have, people like it because they're making decent money, and you know, you have an opportunity to work outside. I mean, in my position, I make good money. Like, I make tips. I work at a high-end hotel. It's not like all the other hotels in Miami. It's called The Edition. It's like it's literally one of the top 5 hotels. So everyone that works at my property, out of all the properties there is, and there's a lot for my company, a lot. I mean, there's 2,000 employees. So if you guys can just take a mental note of that, like, imagine that, 2,000 employees working all across the beach. That's a lot of employees. Not everyone works at a nice hotel. Not everyone has a great environment. Some people work at the ratchet ones where it's crazy. So the people feel honored. Huh?
Whether you work at a great job or a shitty job, you're trying to create yourself.
This is what I'm saying. It's an amazing job because it's a training ground. It's like I'm getting paid to learn, right? So a lot of people think magic, and I can take this to a magical perspective, where people think magic is like, oh, you know, I do rituals, I do spells, I light my incense, I have my candles, I do all this. Motherfucker, the deepest magic you're ever going to have is in your day-to-day life. So you want to create a life where you have an opportunity to tap into a certain energy. Remember, there's this energy, there's this energy, and there's this energy. You want to create a life where you can tap into your willpower energy. And I'm speaking for anyone. Like, you want to have a job where you can exercise that energy, and you want to be able to have a job that will let you balance and have enough days off that you can work, that you can tap into this energy and balance out your energies. And even on that day off, you can spend enough energy to build your own business on the side. As you spend that energy to build your business on the side, that business starts to gain momentum. When you gain momentum by being consistent, by constantly doing what you do, and not falling off. It's literally that simple. Continue doing what you're doing. When you build that momentum, that consistency, you eventually will start to be able to support yourself just by doing what you're doing, just your own business. You will no longer have to work for a corporate. when you come to that realization, like, holy shit, I'm making as much as I am doing my business that I am at my corporate, then you come to the mental conclusion that I could quit my corporate and go all in on my business now. And you make that transition, and then that momentum only picks up even more. And there you go.
It doesn't
now
always
you
work like that for everybody.
Well, no, it doesn't. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't always work like that for everybody for many reasons, because some people don't have the consistency, but there's also many ways to do it also. Like, you cannot have a corporate and just be working on your business and you can make it work. I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying my experience. Like, this is what I'm doing, and this is what I find is, like, it's simple. I'm not, like, don't confuse the words simple and easy. Do not confuse those words, because what I do on a day-to-day basis, I'm telling you, most likely 99% of you listening couldn't do what I do on a daily basis. And I'm saying that with the most honesty that I fucking can, because when I'm not kidding you, especially the way I work, I'm a leader. I always take initiative. I try and spread the knowledge in my workforce. So when people get in that negative mindset, they want to play victim mentality. It's not fair. He wants me to do this and he wants me to move that. And trust me, like, when you're outside in 90-degree weather with humidity through the roof, the sun is beating down on you, and you're doing physical labor all day and dealing with people. And then someone at the end of the day says, I need you to go set me up a chair. And you're literally 5 minutes from closing, and you have an option. You have an option. You're physically and mentally exhausted. You have an option. What are you going to say? No, ma'am, we can't set you up a chair. We're closed. Okay, well, that would be lying. And that's a huge test of integrity, because you know in that 5 minutes that you could set up that chair, but you have to communicate, excuse me, ma'am, we only have 5 minutes left. It wouldn't really make much sense if I set you up a chair, but if you really want a chair, I can set you up. And then you see how the world responds to you, because that could have very well been a test. And if you say that and that person says, yeah, I want a chair, I literally want 5 minutes out here. Take that shit on the chin. Know in your mind, what the fuck is wrong with this person? I would never do that shit, but set that person up, because that's going to make you stronger. You see what I'm saying? And
like me, good clients and bad clients. What makes a good client? Well, what makes a bad client? A bad client. Okay. I have a very straightforward contract. Very straightforward. You can't get more straightforward than that. You know what I mean? I make it as easy for the client as humanly possible to get in the best shape of your life. Now, I'm on point 99% of the fucking time. I'm only human. I'm not on point 100% of the time. I might come 5 minutes late one session out of fucking 20. You know what I mean? So I'm not perfect, but I fucking strive to be it. What makes a bad client is when the contract specifically says you can only cancel the session 24 hours before the session, and you text me 1 hour before and say I can't make it. That makes a bad client. It clearly says that I will have to charge you for that, and I do, and then you get upset. That makes a bad client. When I write you a diet plan, when I'm on my fucking Microsoft Excel looking through my NPTI textbooks at 3:30 in the morning, and I write you a diet plan that meets your exact macronutrient regimen for your exact goals that you need to fulfill. And not only that, I'm a 24-hour nutritionist who's going to alter and adjust a diet plan throughout the whole 5 weeks that you're on it. And you have his personal notes.
Mention you just have a newborn too.
Yeah,
I hear him in the background.
That beautiful boy doesn't matter. What matters is the client, right? So I'm putting all my eggs into your basket, and I'm giving you a 250 calorie surplus with a perfect protein, fat, and carb distribution. And you tell me you've been following every single fucking meal I gave you. And 1 week later, you tell me you haven't even gained a half a pound? Stop fucking lying to me. That makes a bad client. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. They're
Now,
all.
what makes a good client is just show respect. That's all we want, man. That's all we want. We just want you to show respect. You want to cancel the session, just do it 24 hours before. Because if I'm able to get someone else in it, I'm $50 richer. Now, you know, if I'm able to even handle a priority that I have in my personal life, that makes my day just that much easier. You know what I mean? When I'm up 3 hours on a diet plan that you're paying for, and yes, I get paid for it, and you don't follow it and you lie to me, that's only hurting you, not me. But you want to know something? It's hurting me too, because I want to put you in my portfolio. I want to see your before and afters. I want to change your life so I can change mine. This is fucking serious.
That's right. You know what I mean? That's right. That's right. And that's right, man. That's right.
That will make a good client.
Now that yeah, you just painted the picture of a good client and a bad client, a good customer, a bad customer, someone who's honest and someone who's not honest. And you know, whatever you do, whatever business you have, you're gonna have people with flaws. You know, this is for anyone listening. You're gonna have people with flaws. Okay, they're gonna have blockages. They're gonna have errors in their systems, where you do come to a certain point as a business runner or owner, you being your business. Remember that. Always remember, you are your brand. You are literally your brand. Your brand is you, and you are your brand. Think of it that way. That not every single person is going to be that person, you know, that person that you want to do work with. And that a lot of the times is how you become so good at what you do, and what makes you you. And then you end up attracting, you know, better and better and better and better and better clients. But at the same time, there is a line. There is a line when you recognize this person's going a little bit too out of hand. And I need to say, as a business owner, I need to control my emotion and say, look, I don't operate like that. You know, I understand you said you had this come up last minute and, you know, the contract says this, but look, you signed the contract. This is what I'm holding you accountable to as your trainer. And I can't have you do that. And it's the same thing in my job. Like I'm a salesman too. I sell beds. I give out TripAdvisor cards. Look up my record, guys. Go on the TripAdvisor app right now and search up Edition Hotel Miami Beach, and you're gonna see my name on almost every review. I'm putting that hotel on the map so hard that they're probably gonna end up partnering with Boucher Brothers in California, Hollywood, which I'm gonna transfer to and manage. But they haven't done it yet. But because I'm getting so many reviews, they're probably gonna end up doing that. Check my record. Go look at it right now. But without that, it's like you do get those people that are like, can I get an umbrella? And I say, ma'am or sir, you know, with your, first of all, what hotel are you staying at? Oh, you know, I'm staying at the Edition. Okay, just want to let you know that, you know, for every hotel room, you have 2 complimentary chairs. The umbrellas are going to cost $25. Well, they cost $25? It's so hot out. And then in that moment, I have 2 options. Okay, I have 2 options. I can say, you know what? It is so hot out. You know what? I feel for you. I'm going to give you this umbrella because I feel bad for you. Or I say, no, sir, no, ma'am. This is our business and we charge. This is how we make our profit. This is how we survive. This is how we do what we do, and we're able to even serve you in the first place.
That person is not even going to reply to that because he's going to fucking have a big slap of reality on his face.
Well, that a lot of times is literally what happens. The person looks at you and gives you that sense of, fuck, I tried. And it's like that sinister after look that's like, damn it, like he didn't fall for it. And I love it because you recognize like people are like, they want everything handed to them. And that's
this is America, though.
I know.
Everything's negotiable.
No, it's not.
Everything's negotiable. It's up to you to try or not.
I don't negotiate on my value. My value is straightforward. I know what for me. Now, I'm not saying negotiating is a bad thing. Negotiating is necessary. I'm just saying, like, when I do my business, no, I'm not going to say I'm not going to negotiate. There's going to be times where I will negotiate, but that's going to be on big, big, big things. But when it comes to, like, if someone's like, hey, like, no, there's certain, I'm not going to answer that the way I was, like, there's going to be certain situations where you got to read the energy. Things change. I can't say this is how it's always going to be. There are going to be times where I negotiate for sure. Because I just recently did a FaceTime consultation with someone, literally 2 days ago, and I made $20. Typically I would charge, what was it? Typically I charge anywhere from $50 for about 30 minutes, but I did $20. And, honestly, we were on the call for about just 15 minutes. But, the person that I was doing it with, I could see that there was a sense of passion behind it. Like, I need to share this knowledge with this person. So it made me willing enough to, go from 50 to 20. But yeah, at the same time, it was half the call. I didn't know that going into the call, but it's just one of those things that you kind of got to feel out.
You have to give out promos. I pay $5,000 in marketing every year.
And there's certain things that you have to keep at a standard. Like when it comes to merch, like, there's no negotiating on my merch. You go to my site, you see exactly what you need to buy, what you want to buy. That's the price. It's $25 for a shirt. I'm not going to lower it. Like, I'm just not going to lower it. That's the amount it takes to manufacture for this platform I'm running it off of. I'm not going to negotiate that. Like, you can pay for that. Now, when it comes to a FaceTime consultation on how to make communion with your spirit guides and with your higher self, things in that nature, maybe I'll negotiate. I got to know you.
It's just as valuable. You know what? It's even more valuable. Just because a shirt is tangible shouldn't make it a higher price. The shirt is tangible. You can wear it every day. You can fucking jerk off in it, whatever. But that consultation might change your fucking life.
Exactly.
But
my shirts are powerful. They have ancient symbols. They might change your life. Bro, I'm dead serious. Like, I'm not even kidding. But yeah, I'll be right back too. I'll be right back, guys. Quick break. Okay. I think we just got back at the same time. All right, I'm going to see if I can get the smoke to come out my beer. I know you just went and got a beer too. I'm not stupid. All right, look.
I'm not drinking a beer. I'm drinking Mountain Dew.
All right, look, guys, look. Yeah, with all that foam at the top. Hold on. Oh, man, hold on.
I'm serious, bro. I'm buying you a new one. I can't see you like this. I remember when I saw you so good in Winter Park. Now it's it's rough right now for you.
Bro, I'll be honest. I haven't had beer in like months.
Wow, it's been I haven't had it in a long time either.
You know damn well you had it 3 days ago.
I actually haven't, but forget about that.
What was it, yesterday?
No, I mean, it's just a fermented beverage.
Okay, hold on. I gotta let my cat out. Hold on. Okay.
Dude, you have a cat? You bought a cat?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with anything in moderation. Like, and actually, let's go into that. Let's talk about that. There's literally things, when it comes to smoking, nicotine, smoking anything, whatever it is, I really do want to acknowledge the fact that there's nothing wrong in moderation. Now, I'm 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 not saying like moderation is every other day. I'm not saying moderation is every 3 days. I mean, like you gotta really know yourself. And you don't want to be in the mindset that's like, I'm never gonna do that. And you don't want to be in the mindset that you're always thinking about it. Somewhere in between those two mindsets is where you're gonna find moderation. And you can really get benefits out of certain substances, whether that be alcohol, nicotine, weed, ayahuasca, shrooms, LSD, shit. I'll even say like pharmaceuticals. There is times where you can get like benefits because it puts you in a different state of mind. And as we all know, as we all should know, that when you go into different states of mind, your destiny changes, your reality changes around you. That's how powerful that's how powerful a state of mind is. So it's cool to acknowledge what maybe an addict's state of mind is, because if you didn't even know what an addict is experiencing, then how are you going to even help one if you ever wanted to? You can't. You don't know how to help them. So, on a dark subject that can turn light, like that can emulate light from the darkness itself, it's like, what if you have to become an addict to then learn how to help addicts? You ever think about that? Like, it's a powerful thing. Like, and I can look back at my life, and I never want to be addicted the way I was ever again in my life, and I never will be. But I wouldn't know how to help half the people I helped get out of their situations, or at least edge them in the right direction, if I wasn't that addict. If I didn't do those things.
Being addicted to a substance, you're not really addicted to. Yeah, you're addicted to the specific substance that you're indulging in, or the several of them. But what you're really searching for is what it's giving you.
Fabian's like, I got crack cocaine in my drawer right now.
No, man. But I have partied like a fucking rock star in my life. And sadly, that was the way that I coped with my fucking past traumas. I mean, it is what it is. Was it the best way? No. But it has happened. So be it. What the fuck? I was addicted to forgetting shit. I was addicted to feeling good at times. I didn't know how to do it any other way. So I partied like a fucking rock star. I mean, addiction isn't a horrible phase to go through if you're going through it, but just know that it needs to fucking stop and you need to find it elsewhere.
Interesting. I'm glad you just said that, because addiction is actually a good thing when you're addicted to the right things. And maybe now I just connected something that I don't know, maybe you'll resonate with too. Maybe the reason why we've both been addicted, like I know I've been addicted before, like straight up, like for at least a 3-year time frame, I would go out every single day and smoke at least 3 grams of marijuana. And for me, I got to be honest, like I would go into a completely different state of mind. And let me add this, I was taking Adderall too. So it was literally like two opposites. And I'm taking this every single day.
Speedballing every day. Speedballing to life.
Literally, bro, for like 3 years of my life, like 3 times a day. I'm not taking 1 prescription of Adderall. I got 2 prescriptions. So I'm taking them how I feel. Like I'm taking 2 of this. I'm taking 2 of this. Like I'm talking XR and IR, instant release, extended release. And I did that for like 3 years, man. And, it built a mindset in me that like I know and I've mastered addiction. Now, when I went cold turkey on all of these things, I became addicted to all of the right things. Not instantly. It took time. It was a process of breaking out of that. But then I knew what addiction was, and I put that energy into what's going to make me successful. So, hey, at the end of the day, it's all about how you transmute certain things. If you can transmute shit, if you understand that law of the universe, and you can, and look, like, first of all, Fabian, do you want to add anything to that?
Oh no, man. I mean, keep it flowing.
Okay, I want to talk about science. Okay, I want to talk about how magic, let's talk about black magic, because that's exactly what I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about white magic. I want to talk about black magic, because, and let me break down the difference of both. Black magic is not being afraid of anything. Okay, anyone that says, oh, I only do white magic, or anyone that usually says I do white magic, they're usually afraid to do black magic. Black magic is, people don't understand that, and only black magicians will understand this, people that understand that concept, is that light comes from darkness. Like, so it's both. It's light and dark, but it comes from darkness. You can't just be light, because then you ignore the dark. But if you go into the dark, you realize the dark is literally light, if that makes sense. But I want to talk about like the science of black magic. Like, you can literally do certain, like 2 + 2 = 4, right? This ritual plus this ritual equals this state of being. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's real, right? So there is real ways to understand, like the stuff that we're talking about, Fabian. Like, not many people understand these concepts. They don't connect these pathways in their mind, in their genetic codes, right? There is rituals, and you can do, like, it's interesting because you can do rituals, and you wouldn't even be aware you're doing them. Like waking up before the sun rises to go to work for a certain amount of time, that's literally considered a ritual. There's a certain type of ritual that has to do with that, right? My job specifically, I'm in the sun all day. That's ritualistic, to be in the sun. It's literally changing my DNA, because the solar rays are always beaming on me, and it's changing my energetic aura. Now, there is literally it's like, as I said, 2 + 2 = 4, or you could just randomly populate two numbers and it's going to equal something. So if I do the concept of 2 + 2 = 4, I could do this ritual to experience this knowledge. Okay, like these states of mind where it's like we understand how to navigate, like how to transmute energies, like take addiction and transmute that into success. That just doesn't get handed to you. You have to earn that ability. You have to know some certain shit. You have to you have to go into dark places to understand that in the first place. And black magic takes you to dark places almost instantly. It's like you ask to go to those places so that you can work through it and understand it, so that you can talk about what you've learned and embody what you've learned and let that speak for itself. That makes sense. Like, you can do a certain ritual and literally come out on the other side with a specific state of mind. I'll give you an example. There was a ritual that I did, and it was to a being called Azazel. And for those of you who don't know, he's a powerful entity. And the ritual was designed around having a lunar, like a dream type of experience. So I did this ritual at night. The wind was blowing really loud. I put a lot of energy and emotion into it. And I was the only one out there on like Miami Beach that night because it was so windy. And I'm out there like going in like big time. And I'm reading the script. Like, I'm reading it off like it's a science, right? It's a 2 + 2 = 4. I'm reading the script. And then I go home 2 days later, and I literally have an out-of-body dream, like a lucid, fully lucid dream that I've never experienced before. Like, and it's not just partly lucid. Like, some of you think you lucid dream before, where it's like you realize you're dreaming, but you can't control yourself. So you're like in the dream state, but you're like aware you're dreaming, and then you're like, I had a lucid dream. I'm telling you, that's not a lucid dream. A lucid dream is being aware you're dreaming and then taking control of your body. Like,
yeah, when I had my worst lucid, not my worst, but when I had my most intense lucid dreams, ironically, at that time in my life, I was indulging in marijuana, addicted to it. And not only that, I was studying so much on satanic culture and Greek mythology and the spiritual realm. It's so funny how my most intense lucid dreams were in that time.
Yeah. Because I guarantee you, when you were indulging in all that marijuana, it was taking you to certain states of mind. And in those states of mind, you were probably doing certain types of work, like astral plane work.
Haven't had a lucid dream since.
You
It
know?
just shows the power of. It just shows the power of the mind. My state of mind was in that, and that's what you know.
That's my experience too. Like when I had my lucid dream experience, what I can abstract from that in a scientific way was that shows what I'm capable of. In my lucid dream, for those of you who don't know what happened, I was literally able to move objects because I came to full consciousness. I was able to move my body. It wasn't a nightmare. Things were working out in my will. And I was literally putting my hand on things and moving it without touching it. And I was speaking to people and they were automatically understanding what I was saying, and I didn't have to try too hard to explain what I was trying to say. It was just instant. Like they just like knew what I was trying to say. And that happened in a lucid dream. I wake up the next morning and I'm like, holy shit, that's what's possible. That's what I took out of it. I was like, this is what I can do. Like this is just
Reminds me.
Yeah.
I gotta stop explaining shit to people so thoroughly. I explain shit
I wouldn't say that.
Like you're an idiot.
I wouldn't say that, bro. I wouldn't say that.
I know. No, it's just I feel that
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that, bro. Because I think that works on the ability.
I explain shit to people like they're stupid.
No, that's okay. Because some people aren't where, like, remember, people aren't where we're at, right?
I know, but I feel like it's kind of
we're teachers and we're speakers, bro. Like whether we want to or not, that's like the place we're at. And I know what you mean. Like, yo, does my ear look really red or what?
Your nose and your ears look like you're in Alaska.
That's what happens when you're in the sun, like, all day. Like, you guys don't even understand. Like, and look, I'm going to tell you this. I put 70 FPS on 3 times a day, every day, and I'm still this.
Bro, you probably spend $100 a month on fucking sunscreen.
Boy, no, I don't actually. Sunscreen at Walgreens is very cheap. So I buy 2 of those, and I'm still good. It's been more than a month. I'm still good.
Oh shit!
Just a heads up. So Walgreens has some good FPS. Make sure you get zinc.
He's not sponsored.
He's not sponsored yet. But yeah, going back on that topic though, it's like being a speaker, dude. I find myself in many situations and I look at it as an opportunity to figure out different and more effective ways to communicate, because I'll be telling there's people that I work with and I'm totally I'm ahead of the game when I work. So I'm leading people, I'm telling people what we need to do because I'm self-aware, so I can predict what's going to happen and all these things. I'm 10 steps ahead. So I communicate that, and if I wanted to, I could just be like, motherfucker, you're stupid, right? I could just be just get it. I could tear people down to build me up, right? I have that power. But I sense something deeper than that. Sense something more powerful than that. And the ability to sit with someone that doesn't really understand, but is actually wants to understand and explain what I mean. Even if they don't really understand it, try my hardest to explain it, because I realize it works on my communication too. Because
it works on my communication. That's the only reason why it's beneficial. But I can't lie. A lot of people, look at me like, who the fuck is this guy who thinks he can talk to me like that? You know what I mean? I don't have a lot of friends. You want to be honest with me? I mean, you want me to be honest with you? I don't have any friends. I really could care less for friends. And you can say it's because of my past traumas. You can say it's because of my childhood. Or you could say it's because it's my experience with people growing up. But honestly, I just don't get along with many people, man.
Yo, you're such a wizard, Fabian. You are such a wizard, man. You're the kind of person that's just very self-aware, and you're going through initiations, right? I feel like the reason why you probably don't try and have friends or whatever is because you're in a massive state of self-learning, right? You're in a massive state of coming to massive conclusions. And to be honest, I don't have too many friends either. I don't what do I consider a friend? I consider a friend someone that's yo, my boy, and we fucking joke around and we we go out, and it's kind of someone that's oh yeah, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to call my boy.
To me, that's a fucking acquaintance. to me, you're a friend because we cannot speak for a certain period of time and still resonate. When
See,
it comes
that's what I call a brother.
to, oh, okay, all
That's what I
right.
call a brother,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So it's
deep.
like
That's
that's
deep.
different. That's like that's what I call soul brothers, right? So I have a couple of those. I have a few of those, and some I do have some. I have like a couple soul brothers that are friends because I've grown up with them.
Lucky.
But I've grown out of communicating with them on a consistent basis, if you get what I'm saying. But then there's like all of my brothers, the ones that are in that soul tribe. We literally will hang out sometimes, like maybe 3 days in a row at the most, and then we will just go completely like non-existent to each other, knowing that we're all like going through massive self-learning stages, and that we're all aiming for one goal of like financial freedom, self-mastery, success, and having worldly power to be able to affect the world in a positive way, and also in a negative way, because I don't want to underestimate negativity. Negativity is some of the most amazing thing. Negativity is amazing because if you embrace negativity, then you can actually experience positivity.
Yeah,
Meaning,
but for those of them viewing who can resonate with me when I say I don't have any acquaintances and any friends, I'm just focusing on me. For those who resonate with me and want to obtain friendships like the brothers you have, what advice can you give them?
oh, so
Is it just luck of the draw? You just meet those people at MPTI?
honestly, no, I think it's certain like spirit, bro. Honestly, I gotta be honest. I think it's like spirit guide kind of thing, man. I think it's like you literally will come across certain people at certain phases, um, during certain periods. Remember, I think the bigger picture is it's a
So you have to progress in order to.
yeah. Well, I think it's certain levels of progression. Like you're obviously, and I'll speak for myself too. I'm in a
That's the case. I've never progressed because I don't fucking ever.
No. I think you recently started your like massive journey, like recently, like ever since school, right? Like I think ever since school is when we actually started our journey, like for real. Like that's when we jumped off the porch, kind of thing. When it came to this like massive like path to initiations and success and all this stuff. I'll speak for myself. After school, that was an initiation for me for sure. I like my whole life's been completely out of like the ordinary, that what I'm used to since then. And I've met certain people that have left an imprint. Like I can name, like, I'll name some right now. Like a guy I know named Gabriel. I still stay in touch with him. I was just hanging out with him yesterday, actually. But we'll talk and then we won't talk for like weeks. And then we'll talk again. It's like a soul brother. And then another guy named Harriel. And I notice in these people that they're literal, like, these people are not ordinary. Like they're like channels, man. Like you speak to them and I see myself in them. Like they literally reflect like this really divine energy that most people cannot handle. Like just this like really powerful, like you could be in a like shitty state of mind, hang out with one of these people, myself included, and you'll start thinking more positively. You'll start thinking like, oh, there's opportunity in this shit. Like, what the fuck was I thinking? And then like that's a stage we're at right now. But as we continue to initiate, as we continue to move through these spheres of initiations, challenges, trials, we're going to get to a level of like people are going to be really attracted to us, in the sense of a lot of people are going to want to be around us, and we're going to get to pick and choose exactly who we want as friends, who we want as acquaintances, and who we want as like brothers, who we want as like, whatever the case may be. For my case, girls that you want to chill with, girls you want to have one night, it's like,
Yeah.
but you got to get to certain levels of consciousness, and it all starts with self first. So we're obviously in a state and of massive you could say massive isolation. When it comes to work, I have a lot of work acquaintances, a lot of people that, I get along with, and they really care about me, and I care about them as well. But at the end of the day, it's like, this is my journey. and this is your journey, and we're learning. And I have certain people, like brothers, like you included, where it's like there's certain like pins in the path, like damn, I'm glad I met that person. I met that person for a reason, because we share like this powerful knowing, and we're able to like make podcasts like this and things in that nature. And those will continue to happen every now and then, you know, that happens at certain points in the journey. So
you're right.
Yeah, that's my view on it. That's just how it's been happening. And I'll tell you this, when my life like hit the massive state of stagnation and wasn't going anywhere is when I had a social circle. Straight up.
1 second.
So yeah, I'll just speak. Yeah, like when I was at literally the place in my life where nothing was moving in any direction positively for me, and I just didn't know what was going on.
I'm sorry, bro. 1 second. You could keep talking on the podcast. I got to get the baby a bottle. He's been crying. I don't know if you've been hearing it.
Yeah, man. No, I heard it. Yeah. Go do your thing.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, so like as I was saying, it's like when I was going nowhere, you know, when I was going like nowhere in life is when I had a social circle. And I'm not saying all social circles are like that, but I will say 99.9% of social circles are going to cause you to stagnate if you get involved in it. It's almost like being in a church, right? It's like you have to accommodate to everyone in that social circle's mindset in order to fit in. And there comes a certain point where, you know, at first everything's natural. You guys are all resonating. You guys are all getting along. Things are going good, yada, yada, yada. And then it gets to a certain point where it's like you start subtracting little micro things of who you are in order to be in that social circle. And as soon as that starts to happen, you start diminishing who you are as a person more and more and more and more until you are completely dissolved and you are enmeshed in this social circle, meaning that on an energetic level, chakras included, it's all intertwined with every single person in this collective consciousness of a social circle. And everyone's looking at everyone like, I expect you to be this, and then you expect me to be like that. Everyone's literally in that state. And when you start to have and project false images of someone that when they're really not that, you create a lot of problems. And that those problems manifest feeling not happy, feeling all these negative things, and bad things start to happen in your life, and you stagnate. It leads to stagnation. So yeah, dude. So I just literally broke down exactly. Like I did a good breakdown of like.
Sorry about that, guys. I had to attend other obligations. I mean, you know, life. That's life. You know, we have to multitask, right? It's too easy if you have one obligation. It's too easy. We need distractions. We need it. It will grow us into a stronger character.
Yeah, it's like accountability.
Yep.
It's accountability.
So what were you?
Huh?
What were you addressing?
Oh, I was talking about just social circles. I was talking about how social circles like will screw you up. You know, they'll screw you up.
Yep.
I don't care, man. Like most people aren't strong enough to have social circles, man. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, you get a social circle. So at some point, you may be strong enough to be in like you can get to certain levels where you're strong enough to be like involved somewhat in a social circle, and then realize all the drama that is going on in it. But at some point, that drama is going to affect you.
I don't even know what a fucking social circle is because nobody wants to socialize with me.
Well, maybe that's something.
I'm not a fucking likable guy. I'm not talking shit. We've said this in previous podcasts. I'm a fucking devil's advocate who think he knows it all, who questions everything that ever fucking happens, and likes to remain with his own personal fucking space. So I mean, why should I have any social circle? Hey, but I consider that kind of a benefit, no? Because who wants to be in one? Only a sheep, a follower, right?
Well, that's what I was gonna say, man. That's actually one of your dark strengths. That's why I call you a wizard, man, because you have dark attributes to you, and that is what people would consider dark. But
Yeah, I know there's people like that out there like me, man.
I mean, guys, look at Fabian right now, dude. Look at what he's wearing. He looks like he's a big shadow.
Yo,
Like,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna fucking lie. I was gonna change for the podcast, but I felt most comfortable like this.
I know you did. Exactly. Dude, because it's your natural state, man. It's your natural state. And I know that's like some of the most that's not like, to be real, that's one of the most powerful states to be in. But it does come with that understanding of there is times where you have to go out in the world and exert, and get to understand other people. And as we were talking about, learn from other people. But then if you can balance that out with, like, as you said, like, no social circle, just isolation, that's how you really find yourself. That's how you know who you are.
There's people, okay, throughout their childhood, they were isolated. Okay? They were, like me, for an example, I was isolated throughout my childhood. All I know is me time. I was never put in a social circle. I was never put in various activities. I was always just left alone. Huh. So that's considered one of my strengths now because I'm most comfortable alone. Now, the opposite of that, being out and about and socializing, becomes very difficult for me. Okay, now there's other people with the opposite of that. They, socializing and having a social circle and being out and about comes very easy because that's all they know. But being by themselves and focusing on themselves become very difficult.
Yeah.
So there's strengths and weaknesses to all personality.
And when you learn how to balance that, dude, you're gonna go to another level, man. And that was one of the hardest things for me to do, because I started off as a social person, and then I went to not being social, and then I went to that, like, completely other end of the pendulum, like doing self work, just caring about myself because that's what I needed to do what I needed to do. And there's nothing shameful about it. I don't feel bad about it. I don't regret it. But then, as of recently, as of like a year ago, I started switching into a mindset that's like, I'm going to start exerting my emotion again. I'm going to start, like, being vulnerable enough to feel emotion. And by doing that, I also create a boundary for anyone, like an instant boundary that's like, look, I'm going to exert my emotion. I'm going to care about you for the second. I'm going to trust you. But the second I'm aware of the fact that you're trying to take advantage of me, I'm going to fuck you up. And that's literally how I balance that.
It's funny that you say that. I'm not going to say no names because my contract assures privacy for my clients. But I have this client, and I wrote him a diet plan, and it's probably the 5th diet plan I wrote, and the first one that he supposedly was going to follow. I wrote him the diet plan. It was for his specific goals. Everything was perfect. I worked on it all night. I made sure all the numbers were 99% correct. You would never get 100% correct. You would never do that because there's only so many food groups in the fucking world that's obtainable at your nearest Walmart.
Well, even even if you did do it perfect, they wouldn't follow it perfectly. So it's like,
but I know, but it's integrity.
That's right. That's right.
I had it 99% perfect, and he should gain 1 pound per week and of muscle. Because what I have him on is a very, very, very extensive hypertrophy routine, and I also have him on many supplement protocols. So it's for a fact every 7 days he should go up a pound. Science. It's science. There's no fucking way unless you're lying to me. Now he tells me It's been 8 days. I haven't even gained a half a pound. I said, it's impossible. If you're following everything I'm giving you, it's totally impossible.
Sounds like an emotional issue.
Yeah, I said, don't worry. On day 14, because every 2 weeks I adjust the diet to make sure things are happening accordingly, but I can't adjust it properly if you're lying to me.
Yep.
So I told him, don't worry. It's been 8 days. On the 14th day, I will adjust to make sure it would happen. He said, okay, cool. I said, oh, yeah. And thank you so much for being 100% honest with me. I said, thank you. It means the world to me. He never wrote me back.
Because you planted that seed, man. You planted that integrity seed.
He's not being honest with me.
No, and that's a great example of weeding out someone that shouldn't be a client.
You know? And then you're at that battle of, well, I need money, but I need a reputation.
And doesn't that come back to what Chris taught us in school about selling out yourself, which is your brand, for money? And I do the same thing. Look, I'll tell you guys, when it comes to me on the beach, I know how to drip with the sauce. I know how to sauce everyone up and make more money. But there's times where I literally am so self-aware that I'm not being who I truly am. And when I start to recognize I'm going too far over the edge and I'm not balancing it out again, that, I start talking like this. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, can I get you anything? And yeah, it's literally scientific that I get more money like that. Scientific.
Yeah.
Like, I walk away with massive.
It's sad, you have to do it. You can't be yourself.
And then look, and then I get the tips. And it's feeding me that money energy. But I'm so aware because I know me more than the money, that it's a false energy. Look, and then I'll switch my energy because I need to balance it. So I know how to take it to certain levels. And then when I hit that threshold, I have to go back because I understand balance. So then I'll be with one person like, hey, ladies and gentlemen, how can I help you? Can I get you set up with something? And then, and then I'll be like exhausted towards like the end of the day. And next thing you know, I'm talking like this. How's it going, ma'am? You know what I mean? Like, I sound different. My tone of voice is different. And then it's an interesting dynamic because people perceive you differently because they're not aware of that. They're not aware of that you may be exhausted. They're only thinking, most of the time, people are only thinking about me, 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 me. Why aren't you the same when you first greeted me? I don't care that you've been lifting 1 million cushions and you've been doing physical labor all day and you're exhausted and you don't know.
But they don't even know that you did that because to them, you're fresh out the bed.
Exactly.
They're always going to perceive you in that fresh state of mind because they don't know what you go through.
Yes, because they don't think of it. They're not that self-aware to realize, you know what?
It's not being self-aware. It's actually
it's sad. It's sad because that shows a sign that they're not even aware that they act like that too. Yeah. They're not aware within themselves that their energy shifts throughout the day because, as you said earlier, Fabian, I'm glad we're tying this back together. They're in that single-mindedness, that state of always just this thing, and and that's it. That's
and it's like, all right, so I have a new client, all right? I'm not going to say any names.
A new client. I don't know
if a new client signed up for, the advanced package. Not the super advanced package, not the black card status. He signed up to the American Express package. I consider it like almost the top package. And he was doing amazing, phenomenal, which they all do the first week. Then he started to fade away. Second week, got right back on the grind. Well, we got 2 more weeks to fucking go, buddy. And what happens? Drops off the face of the earth. Cancels 3 sessions. I'm contacting you, motivating you, letting you know I'm here to change your life. Stop running from me. And still running from me.
Yeah, dude, you're a powerful person, man. You're definitely you're like an embodiment of like beyond a god, man. You're like someone that if for anyone who's watching that like can get that spiritual understanding of like how the most powerful gods work and goddesses work is like they're constantly trying to give us knowledge. They're constantly trying to help us, and most of us run away from it. Like most people run away from it, and it's like you know
You
as
got a 5-year-old kid. You have a family at home. You sit down for work. You're out of shape. You have high cholesterol because of all the red meat and whole eggs you consume on a daily basis.
and you can change his life.
I will change your life. And of course, it's not tangible.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not tangible because not only do you have to pay for the service so I can survive, but you got to put in the work too.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo.
Fabian, you want to know something? You want to know why? Do you want to know? That's a big reason why I'm not a personal trainer anymore. That's one of the main reasons because I realize I can't, when it comes to that type of business, you're going to have like, eventually you will find a wolf. You will find exactly the client that is ready to like really go there. But most of the clients are going to be not there. And you gotta literally get down to the level and then walk them through the valley of death, like step by step, and be right in their ear.
You know
like
what
I deal with it. I deal with it in my corporate job, right? I deal with that in my corporate job, and I'm getting really good at it because I know how to communicate with people that aren't wolves, and I know how I'm like trying to transform them into wolves. But even though I'm transforming them into wolves, they're still not going to be the wolf that I want to project for them. But I have to come to terms with that. But that's why I want to be a speaker, because I speak my message and no one can say shit about it. And the wolves will hear it, and the sheep will hear it, and the middle will hear it, and the higher middle, in between middle will hear it, and then the lower in between middle will hear it, and they'll all perceive it a different way. And it's like, but I'm just speaking my truth. And that's literally why I want to be a speaker.
You want to know why I can't give up on fitness? You want to know why?
Yeah, I don't think you should either.
You know why I can't though?
I think you'll be really good.
I had a rough childhood. I had many past traumas. Growing up, I found one passion, and it was fitness. I found one passion.
Dude, I can see you being really successful. I can I can see you as a very successful fitness personal trainer. It's just going to be a lot of consistency. It's going to be a lot of like,
Bro, I'm going to die. I'm going to die before it finishes. That's all I'm going to say.
Bro.
Well, I'm going to die before I give up. You want to know what?
I'm going to tell you this. You're going to experience success if you continue doing, being consistent.
I don't even care about success. All I care about is not giving up because I don't want to ever give up.
I want to see you hit success. So that's what I'm aiming for you. But bro, you're going to get there fast if you stay consistent with it. If you stay on social medias, promote yourself on all the social media platforms, start really like feeding that consistently.
Yeah.
Being you, man, that you're definitely you're going to make a name for sure. You're going to make an impact is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I'm not even going to feed you the bullshit. If I can only change one life, that's all that matters. No, I want to change many lives.
I want you to look someone up, bro. I really do. I want you to look someone up on YouTube. His name's and for anyone that knows this guy, you're going to laugh so hard because this guy reminds me of me at points in my life, and Fabian, you're going to resonate with this guy so much. His name is Dan Penna. Do you know him?
Who?
Dan Penna. Dan, last name P.
I got to see him first.
Look him up, please. Please.
Right now.
Write this in your notes. You need to look this guy up. He has this guy does seminars in his castle. And what he tells the people in the room, in the seminar room, you would not believe your ears what he tells you. Like when I say this man's a wolf, like if you could imagine a wolf like transforming into like a fucking werewolf with like a third eye popping out of his like chest, like this guy literally tells men and women in his seminars, you fucking cunts don't do shit. You fucking pieces of shit. And these people sit there with notepads and they write this shit down, and he's just ripping them a new asshole. Like, but he also at the same time is speaking his truth, and everything he's saying is real. Like, you gotta listen. So in order to even listen to him, like, and he said he has a 40% dropout rate, but this man is one of the richest people in America. I'm talking billionaire. Like, he's known for being one of the richest people in America. And he is such a guy that you can tell didn't have social circles. You can tell he was all about himself, but he's made an impact because of that, who he was. And he just sits there and he's cursing people out, and he's like, you fucking piece of shit. If you're fucking ugly, then don't do a fucking FaceTime call with your fucking face in it. He's like, you fucking idiots. And he's like, you fucking sheep think I'm joking when I say this shit. And I'm not kidding you, bro. You gotta look him up. And but I am telling you this. He's on the Joe Rogan. He did a Joe Rogan.
All right, I gotta check this out,
bro. You gotta check him out, bro. I want to know what you think, but right. I think you'll resonate with him for sure. When I first saw him, bro, I was like, anything is like that whole wolf mentality. I know it's possible. I know you can be really successful in that mentality, like not exerting, just being to yourself. Do I think it's the most beneficial way to get your name out there and be a legend? Not really. I don't think it's like what will put you out there in terms of like how Gary Vaynerchuk holds his energy and like Tony Robbins. But I mean, when it comes to, getting everything you need out of life and being who you are straight up, that it works still.
I just want to be an entrepreneur. I want many businesses I want to dive into many businesses, whether it's fitness related, whether it's real estate. I want to dive into everything and be and learn as much as possible. But a great base for me is fitness because it's what I'm most passionate about. Like I said, I had a very rough childhood, and growing up, I realized, growing up, I was in school, like we all have to because it's mandatory in this fucking world. You have to go through K to fucking 12th grade. You have to in order to even have a chance in society. So I did what every one of us fucking do, and I was going through the grades. Boom, 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 2+2 division, fucking Seneca Falls Convention, Boston Tea Party. You know what I mean?
Columbus discovered America.
You know what I mean? Fucking Indians are bad, Americans are good. You know what I mean? I was going through all of this.
McDonald's. Yeah.
I was going through all of this with you guys. And in 6th grade, I was given a weight training class. And I started lifting weights for the first time in my life. And I never felt so powerful. And I never felt that powerful off of anything physical that I ever have before. So I automatically fell in love. And it became a passion for me to become a professional bodybuilder. But then as I was training throughout the years from 6th to 7th to 8th grade, and then to 9th to 10th to 12th grade, you know what I mean? When I became that passionate about it and I dived deeper into it, I realized what truly goes on in that field. And it's not what you all think. In order to become a professional bodybuilder, you need to do some serious alterations to your body using serious steroid protocols. And you really need to harm your body more than you progress it. So, don't get me wrong, I dived deep into it. I was in sophomore year already on a steroid cycle. So I was already diving deep into it. And I fell in love with it. But then I came to the conclusion that it didn't make me happy to feel that powerful, but at the end of the day to be harming my insides. You know what I mean? It didn't really make me feel that good at the end of the day. But I'm a go big or go home type of guy. So it was like, if I'm not gonna fucking do it to the fullest and become the biggest, strongest motherfucker in the world, I'm gonna just give up now.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I ever gave up on anything. And it's not that I regret it, but I never want to give up on anything again. I really don't, man. So the feeling that bodybuilding gave me when I was at my worst, when I was dealing with all my past traumas, that power, that physical fucking strength, man. You know, I just wanna pass it forward. And I feel like that's my purpose.
Yeah, man. I can that's a great story, man.
Seriously.
I think you should like find a way to incorporate that into your, you know, your portfolio so that everyone can see it on your social medias, because that resonates, man. A lot of people, you know, that's a, you know, that's a story that people can be like, wow, you know, now I understand why you're so serious about what you do. And I mean, I can.
That's what I gotta do. I gotta wow people with a fucking sob story because they think I'm just another Joe Schmo.
And and that's the unfortunate part, is because they can't read it off your energy already, that you've been through that. That's the unfortunate part, because remember, people aren't that self-aware. So it's like we have to make them aware.
I feel like I gotta dumb down.
Yeah, it's literally like, well, you can look at it as dumbing down, or you can look at it as an opportunity to communicate with people that are not fully there yet. And you can literally learn how to bring them up. And when you master that, you can master a lot of things. That's what I've recently learned. Wasn't always easy for me. I don't always do it, but there's times where I do see opportunity in it and I do take full advantage of it. But dude, that story was powerful. And I want to tell you mine, which is actually very similar, which is interesting, because when I was in high school, I was known for having shoes. When I say I was known for having shoes, I meant like I was considered the freshest kid in my school. And I was known because I was the white kid. And like, I'll just give you guys a context. I was in a school where there was more ethnicity than there was Caucasians. So I had the nicest shoe game, and I knew what shoes were in
and you
style.
knew that would make you the most popular.
And, you know, part of me did, but the bigger part of me really liked my shoes, and I liked looking good. I liked breaking necks. That's what it was. I liked when people acknowledge. You know what it was? I'll tell you. It was attention. I liked attention.
Of course.
And I
you get the most attention out of any thing ever.
That's right. And I mastered attention, right? I mastered attention. So guess what? So it went from shoes, and I maintained that. I gained that repetition, and it just kept feeding. It kept going. Like, how much attention can I get? Because I got a certain level of attention, but it didn't satisfy me yet. Because and I think that's, you know, I'm always going to be like that. I'm always going to strive for bigger things. But then I was like, fitness. Like, what's this fitness thing? Like, I got drawn into fitness from P90X. Okay, so I did my first P90X because my dad said, hey, Jared, do you want to do this with me? And I was a little bit, you know, I was a little bit chubby at the time, literally like a little chubby. And I remember my dad said, do you want to do this? And he said, you're promised to get abs in 30 days. And I swear to God, I did it every day with him for 30 days. And I got a six-pack, like an actual six-pack in 30 days. And I was shocked. I put a picture on Facebook.
Well, don't lie to these people. Your fucking diet had to have been decent.
Well, look, I started incorporating my diet into it. But going from being chubby and having a gut, and then, yes, I did do the diet thing, but it wasn't, I don't think it was like kind of like my dad, I have to, you know, contribute to my dad, because my dad was doing the diet thing and he was eating like a lot of chicken. So I was doing what he was doing. I wasn't really thinking too much like, this is the reason why I'm getting the results so fast.
But you also wasn't so far gone.
No, I wasn't out of the loop. I knew that this food was going to help increase.
You weren't obese.
Bro, I'll tell you this. I was not in shape. Let's just put it that way. I was chubby, bro. I swear on everything, bro. I was like, when I was in elementary school, bro, I was a chubby kid, bro. Like, there was a point where I was chubby. I would eat Burger King every single day. Every single day. I was chubby, bro. I'll show you. You'll see pictures of me, bro. You'll be like, what? Bro, you were that? Like I was chubby, bro. But I did that and I got a 6-pack, man. And that, like, I got so many likes on Facebook, and then I was like, fitness.
Wow,
I
yeah.
started going to the gym, and guess what? I got known again for being the kid with the biggest arms in school, the white kid with the biggest arms,
Nice.
bro. So I'm walking around now with the biggest arms, and I'm like, I don't even play football, and I'm like, I'm just gym savvy. So then I did my first competition in 10th grade, and that was my experience of seeing how the game really worked. And I remember specifically, like, this is where our path went a little different. I saw a bodybuilder fall on the ground. She was a female bodybuilder, looked like Terry Crews, had like massive definition in her abs, massive.
She probably abused the loop diuretic and didn't have enough potassium.
She fell on the and she fell on the ground, and her abdomen, I saw it started twitching, like going up and down, because and she's dehydrated and all that stuff. So she's on the ground like dying, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, I'm never gonna do that shit. Like I in that moment I was like, I'm never gonna do that shit. And that
because you have to take it to the extreme to get there.
So guess what? That's right. You have to diminish your body to get there. That's a whole different. It's a dirty game. It's a dirty game. Now there is ways though to maneuver it, but that game
no
itself,
way you're gonna get there naturally.
That game itself is dirty. Let's just put it that way. That game itself is dirty.
But it's the extreme for fitness. That's what it is.
It's the extreme for fitness, and there are very scientifical ways that you can do it and not experience those bad repercussions. There really is. But would I recommend it? Hell no. And do I think that it can cause a lot of damage, even if you think you're doing it the scientific perfect way? Absolutely. I think there is that risk because you're altering your body. You're like altering it so much with etheric substances that your body's not meant for that shit. You should be eating good life force things. Like you can't just be eating all this protein powder, all these protein supplements, and then injecting yourself with fucking like these liquids that are chemicals.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not against it. I'm against abusing it. I'm not against using it.
Fabian's like, I got this shit right now. Skirt.
I got some good shit right now.
Bro, look, hold on. Let's be real for a second, guys. Look at the camera. You see this? You see this big cannon? Hold on. You guys see this cannon? Let's
hold on.
Let's compare cannons. Hold on. Let me get a good view of this. Hold on. You see this cannon?
Hold on. It looks better from the back, bro.
Hold on. Mine looks better from the side. Hold on. Look at this cannon. You see this cannon? You see that vein right there? I don't take anything.
Bro, my lighting is horrible.
Actually, I take some protein supplements, but that's about it.
Honestly, I don't even work out, bro. I don't even work out. I train.
Oh, my muscle's cramping. But yeah, after we're done measuring our dicks, let's get back to the conversation. So you know, I did that, and that was my moment where I realized I'm not gonna ever do steroids. But I'll tell you this, bro. I did some other things, right? So I got involved. I went from doing that P90X to ab ripper to going in the gym and lifting, being a gym rat, a straight gym rat. That was like my move. I would call my friends where I'm like, bro, we're going to the gym. You want to come with me? And everyone knew me. They're like, let's go to the gym because that was the wave, you know, in high school. So we would do that. And then I completely changed and started running. Like I started doing cardio because I was like, this is how I get the chisel physique I'm looking for. Like the lean main machine. Cause I used to be swole. Like I was known for having a massive chest and arms. And then I was like, I want to lean out. I want to be that kid that's like, you know, lean as fuck. And so I started running so much. And then I joined cross country, and cross country gave me that sense of like, cross country changed me. Like I just saw a lot of things in cross country. Like it trained me on levels what most people couldn't do. Like you run rain or shine. I've seen people like running and crying.
That's aggressive cardio.
Yeah, it was aggressive cardio.
That's extreme cardio.
Bro, and I would run, sometimes I would run like cross country and then run at home. Like, bro, I was running at least 6 miles a day. Like
that's testing your heart.
Every day, every single day. And my knees and joints were taking a toll on that. But I was running every day. I was like no rest days. Like, And then I started getting involved in eating certain nutritions because I realized nutrition was the key. So I literally had a point in my life where I only ate protein, like nothing else, no carbs, no nothing, just protein. And little do I know, it's like you need these other macronutrients to really get look the way you want.
Yeah.
But I'm only eating protein. And then I had a whole spiel of only eating fruit, like only fruit.
Yeah.
And then my dad was like, Jerry, you have an eating disorder. And I'm not even paying him any mind. But I'll tell you this, man, like, you know, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't experience what that was like. You know what I mean? Like the different mind states it put me in. And then at the end of all of that, going through these extremes, and don't get me wrong, my physique was like in really interesting shapes. Like throughout all these phases, like I realized really important things about like fitness and deep levels. But, you know, at the end of all that, I realized like the balanced nutrition is the key. Brown rice, my fish for protein, and then broccoli. Like that's like, if you want to get in shape physically, those are very key things right there.
And
Every
if you're
bodybuilder.
on a budget, and if you're on a fucking budget,
Fabian's gonna hit you with it. Look,
you know, brown rice,
exclusive content. Hold up.
brown rice, tuna, and spinach. I mean, you could get a whole case of raw spinach for $3.
Oh,
You could get a 12-pack of tuna, 3-ounce cans for $6-7.
oh.
You could get a 10-pound bag of brown rice for $9-10. I can feed you for the week on 30 fucking
Bro, you're
bucks.
about to make me hit Publix right now with a 10.
Do what you gotta do, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But switching topics on that nutrition for physique to nutrition for energy and life force, it's a whole nother game. Like it's so interesting how nutrition works. Like there's this like there's kale, there's spinach. What's better for you? You know what I mean?
They're both minuscule when it comes to carbs, but they're very beneficial.
But what if we're not looking at macronutrients?
If you're not looking at macronutrients,
what if we're looking at life force?
Great testing. They're great. They're great alternative for gut control.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's there's a whole nother game out there. There's the whole gut control. You know, there's the microbiome, as they call it, the vagus nerve, and that's what I dove into as well. And that's where I'm at right now. And I'm not gonna say that's where I'm at. I'm balancing that with bodybuilding diet as well. So I'm balancing all these things because, you know, I want to be in shape. You know, I got to be strong for my job, but I also want to make sure my gut's healthy. And it's the balance of both.
Seriously, man. I mean, it's so affordable to eat healthy. It's actually it actually costs more to binge on unhealthy foods. You know, I can easily go out and spend 30, 40, 50 bucks in a single day eating out, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Or I can spend 50, 60 bucks and eat at home for the week.
Yeah.
So it gets repetitive, it gets boring, but what the fuck good comes easy? You tell me. What good comes easy? It's repetitive, it's boring, but it gets you where you need to be. You know, if you're going to complain about shit your whole fucking life, you're never going to get to where you want to be. You know what I mean?
Never will. You might as well make it fun. You might as well make it something you're passionate about, something that motivates you. Even when it, like most people would call it boring, it's all about a state of mind. You can view things that are boring as fun. And as soon as you start to do that with consistency, you literally hit a cheat code on life, because everyone's looking at it like, I don't want to do that. But now you're looking at it like fucking opportunity, fucking advancement, fucking new knowledge, new power. And you get in this level of like just massive growth, and that just has momentum on itself. So, but bro, I think we covered a lot today. I think we're gonna have to end it here. It's almost 11 o'clock my time.
Yeah, it's gonna take you about it's 10:54 my time. It's gonna take you about 4 hours to fucking upload this shit.
I'm gonna upload it tomorrow. So yeah, it's gonna definitely. So I got my tomorrow's my day off actually, so that's gonna work out just fine.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'm gonna upload 2 videos. So I'm gonna upload you know, I'll probably upload this. I'll upload this podcast and then I'll upload another video. I made a deal with myself that on my off days I'm going to upload 2 videos, and then on my work days I'm going to upload 1. Today, unfortunately, I wasn't able to because it was the 3rd day I worked all day in a row, and you know I'm on this podcast right now. But
so you're working even when you're not at work.
I'm working when I'm not at work. You know, I was at work for 12 hours today. I'm pretty much come very close to hitting overtime, but when it's physical labor, it's a different story, especially being in the sun. My body needs to rest, recover, but I'm literally getting stronger and more energetic as time goes on. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do this the first week. For sure, I would have been like, Fabian, bro, I'm not doing this shit. I'm fucking tired.
Yeah.
But yeah, on that note, tomorrow's my day off. So I'm just going to, you know, make sure I focus in on my business. And then the rest of the day is dedicated to resting, recovering, chilling, tapping into a different state of mind, and just being. I want to mention this last thing. They did call me. They did ask me if I could come in tomorrow for a couple hours. And I said, you know what? I can't, because I respect my time more.
Good.
Respect, you know what I mean? Like, I respect.
You're not chasing the acceptance. You're willing to get the balance.
Exactly. And that's what will help you grow in any business, because it's about you that is gonna cause you to grow. So if you overwork yourself and you know you're overworking yourself, trust me, I've overworked myself. I need to rest. I know this. So I'm gonna say, no, I'm not gonna work that extra day, even if it's even if they sell it, oh, but you'll get overtime, which is true, but fuck that shit. I don't care. It's, you know, $18 an hour isn't bad, but is it worth my health? No, I'm gonna be financially free anyways. It's coming soon. I'm not worried about it. But other than that, bro, like, go ahead and make your plugs again so that people can.
Okay. Instagram, Fit Life Fable, FitLife FABO. Snapchat, Fit Life Fable 2019. Just please, I know I see several of you watching. This guy has several subscribers, hundreds, thousands of views. I know you guys are watching. It doesn't hurt to pick up your fucking little iPhone that you're paying $150 a month to keep a contract for, and just type my shit into Instagram. It's beneficial, it's motivational. Why not? You know what I mean?
Yep, and I'll leave your Instagram name in the description as well. So if you guys want, you can see his Instagram name in the description. Did you have anything else you want to say?
No, just keep fighting the fight.
Keep fighting the fight. Keep growing. Keep building up that black diamond that's right here in your head. Everything's mental. You know, it's all about, you know, how you see situations, how you see trials, challenges, initiations, and pushing through them. On that note, I just want to tell you guys, check out my merch. You know, I got merch. I have a link to the my merch platform in my description. And then hit the notification bell, hit the like and subscribe. As I said, on my off days, I'm going to post 2 videos a day. So I have content constantly coming out. Obviously, if you watched all the way to this point, you know this content is no joke. The things we're talking about is like some real stuff. It's pretty advanced stuff, but at the same time, it's very relatable. And if you're not there yet, if you're not understanding it, keep watching the content, because it's going to help to train your mind so that you get more accustomed to it. And trust me, you definitely want to do that, because there are these shifts that are happening with our universe as a whole. You know, there's a lot of planetary alignments going on, a lot of shifts that are happening. The frequency is going to raise. The things we're talking about are going to be more and more talked about as, you know, these shifts happen. So you might as well catch on now. You might as well catch on now or go insane when it happens. But, you know, that's where I want to leave it at. So, yo, Fabian, it was great talking to you. And that's going to be it, man. Peace.